I'm going to say something to you that probably people are not saying or they don't want to say out loud. Want to know what it is? Someone on the Indiana Fever got to go. Now we know who it won't be. We know who it won't be. But we have a good chance of knowing who it might well be. Right? Last night's game with the Indiana Fever, where Aari MacDonald showed up and showed out, was spectacular in the sense where we've been starving for a good playmaker. We've been starving for a good point guard since Caitlin Clark has been sidelined because of her thigh complications or injury. And then when Colson went out because of a leg injury, and then Cunningham went out because of an ankle injury, we're like starving for someone to show up and show out. And guess what Aari did? She showed up and showed out.
MacDonald trying to use that Boston screen. MacDonald inside. Mitchell hangs, lays it in, and a foul.
And let me tell you, her staying with the Indiana Fever is not far-fetched. Why? Because there are players on the Indiana Fever who are not, I repeat, who are not protected. Colson's not protected. Bonner's not protected. All right? Caitlin Clark's not protected. Turner's not protected. Timpson's not protected, to name a few. But let's just talk about Turner and Timpson. You realize that in the last few games, Timpson hasn't played at all. And then with Turner, if she has, it's only been for a few minutes, which really didn't amount to too much. I hate to say it, but it's true. Right? And one has to wonder, why isn't Timpson playing, at least for 5 minutes or, 10 minutes here and there, to give the other players a spell, to have them get a little rest? So we don't know what's going on behind the scenes in the Indiana Fever camp. But we do know what the scores say and what, when people are not playing, what's happening, something's going on. Now, they brought Aari MacDonald in. And yes, the Sparks waived her. Okay, she probably wasn't a good fit for the Sparks, maybe. Who knows? Or maybe she had an off day or an off couple of days at that point. Who knows? We might never know. All right? But it doesn't mean that she's a bad point guard. It means that she wasn't a fit for their team. And that's a big difference, right? That's a big difference. Now, she, in a couple of days, got it together, all right, came to Indiana and did her thing. She did the thing, all right? She was just a wonderful point guard. She showed up and she produced. This is what a point guard should do: show up and produce. Every player that's professional should show up and produce. Aari MacDonald did that. Now, if you watch the game, you know that at one point in the game, Sykes was, going, down court, and she just banged into Aari. To the point where Aari fell back and fell out on the floor. That's how hard the bang was. But what did Aari do? Did she just lay there and crawl up, or did she say ow, or did she wonder what was going on? No. She jumped up, popped up, energetically. That says a lot. She can take a lot. As she gives out, getting buckets as she gives out, making plays as she gives out, finding the players as she gives out in defense. She can also take a hit, which some on the Indiana Fever team have a hard time with those hard hits. Right? Y'all seen it. And then even tonight we had Colson who got, hit, banged up, and she got, a nosebleed. She can't get a break. First is a leg and then it's a nosebleed. Oh my. And then you have Cunningham who re-injured an injury, or maybe an injury that wasn't fully healed yet, who knows. And so she's out for a little bit. So you need someone on the team who is a secondary to Caitlin Clark. Point guard. A point guard through and through. And I believe that Aari MacDonald is this. A point guard through and through. Okay? She will show up, suit up, and do her job. And she said it in her after the game interview. Check it out. She is hungry. She's gritty. She can be aggressive. And what does the Indiana Fever need? Aggressive play. Hunger. That dog mentality. She provides that. And guess what? Caitlin Clark, when she comes back, she could be relieved to know that Aari is there. So if something takes place or if she needs to take a break, she can trust that she'll be out there on the court being productive and producing and leading her team around the court. That's a big factor, I think, psychologically for the team as well as for Caitlin Clark individually. So you tell me, do you think that Aari MacDonald will be a good fit for the Indiana Fever? And if you say no, I want to see your list. I want to see why you would say no to her. I want to see what you could come up with. Because the fact that she got waived from the Sparks, that doesn't say too much to me. That there's a whole host of reasons why that could have happened. Right? But she showed tonight that she is hungry. And she's on display. She knows that right now the Indiana Fever is looking at her, but also other teams are looking at her. Right? So it's her best interest to perform at the highest level. She said it herself. She's a perfectionist. She wants to get things right. And the wonderful thing that she said that I really hung on to is that when she plays, she's having fun. Now, y'all know when you go to a job, your job or whoever goes to a job, right? That when you go to a job and you have fun at your job, it's not really work. It's actually fun. And so you produce. You engage. You get ignited just because you're there. You get on fire because you're around people who you can connect with. And this is what I see Aari MacDonald being able to do, to be that piece that the Fever probably didn't know that they needed this much of. They didn't know they needed a lot of Aari, but they do. Y'all know that, right? Perfect opportunity because, again, any player that is on the Fever team that is not protected could leave because of poor performance. And that could leave a spot for Aari to come right in. And that, my friends, is my prediction. That they will keep Aari, and one of the two, Timpson or Turner, is going to be leaving. I'm hoping it would be Turner. Turner's got 6 years in the WNBA, in basketball, okay? And someone with that much time in, you would think they would be performing right now at the optimum level, right? Where they're getting like 7 points, 8 points, 10 points, more every time they suit up and get on the court. Is she doing that? No. Timpson, I could give her some grace. She's a rookie. She just got drafted. Does she have potential? Absolutely. The potential in defense and potential in offense. So she could grow with the team. So my prediction is that Turner will go and Aari MacDonald will stay with the Indiana Fever. And she will be that engine. She will be that igniter. She will be that person that they need right now on the team. Because when Caitlin Clark comes back, it'll be just a wonderful thing for her to know that, you know what? Hey, I'm a leader. I'm the point guard. But my secondary is also a leader and a point guard. So if I'm off the floor for any reason, she's got my back. She's got the team's back. And it's a done deal. It's a done deal. So, I was excited about sharing my thoughts with y'all because I'm excited about Aari. There's three things, or maybe three things that I want to tell you about that led me to this conclusion. One is that if you're not scoring and you're on the bench and you are a vet or you are someone who has had some time in the WNBA or basketball, it's a problem. If you are someone who, is not a point guard, you don't have that savage hunger or that what it takes, that grit, then you're not going to be an asset to the Indiana Fever team. If you're someone who, even though you've played in a few games and you have not made very much in points and haven't made any kind of impact during your time of play that's significant enough in any way, shape, or form, guess what? It's probably time for you to go. So those are the three reasons I'm thinking that someone's going to go. And it won't be, it could be Colson. It could be Colson. She's unprotected. Turner's unprotected. And Timpson is a draftee, but she's also unprotected. Okay? So again, any unprotected player on the Indiana Fever team at any given time could be waived. And they could bring on somebody new. Now, check this out. I noticed tonight that Colson, the last game they played against the Mystic, Colson stepped it up a notch. Okay? She was great defense. All right? Got a couple of buckets. She stepped it up. Now, why would you think she would do that? Could it be because Aari was on point? She's coming on, the court, and she's a point guard, and Colson's a point guard, and if she doesn't do as well as Aari, guess what? Colson's unprotected. So if she's not showing up the way that Colson's showing up, if she's not showing up the way that Aari's showing up, guess what? She could go. So I'm predicting there's going to be a cut of one player. Maybe two, but definitely one. Enough so that Aari can come aboard and be productive and be that second to Caitlin. So I don't know what you think, but let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about her time on the court. She played almost 30 minutes. Okay? And she spent only a couple of days. She's been watching film. She got on the practice court with them. She picks up stuff really quickly because you can tell in the way she played last night in the game. She knew where to find Kelsey. She knew where to find, Lexi. She knew where to find the players. She knew how to get the ball to them. And there's one, shot that I hope you saw, is when she gets it to Mitchell. And Mitchell, is flying up in the air and gets the bucket in the paint. It was beautiful. And she can also steal balls. Okay? She had one steal tonight where she was at the one end of the court coming downhill, right? And she got the bucket. So this person could be pivotal to maybe the Fever getting into championship position by getting to the playoffs. See, another thing too, let me just say this before I go. When it comes to a point guard, they got to have some flavor. Right? They got to have some flavor. They got to have something that says to the other players, they are a leader. We can depend on her to lead us. We can depend on her to find us with the ball. We can depend on her to be all that she is supposed to be so that we can just get what we need to get and win. And not just that, the leader, the point guard, is someone who is confident. Daggone near confident where they could be, sometimes arrogant or sometimes just, a pain in the butt, right? But they're confident. And I think the best point guards are the ones that are confident, but they also play with humility. That's a beautiful combination. Okay? Beautiful one. And so, Caitlin Clark has a Clark effect. We all know that. And her team knows that. That's why when she was out, and stuff, they just was discombobulated because they relied a lot on her and what she brings as far as her energy, her personality to the game. I believe that Aari is the same way. She's full of energy, okay? She's fast on her feet. She has ability to connect with players. She knows her position as leader. She has some humility. She understands the game enough so that she played so good last night after having only been with the team for a couple of days. Just a couple of days. And then she suited up and got on the court and did her thing. So it's really about how the players connect with her and the kind of energy that she puts out when she's on the court. Because that penetrates everyone that's around her. And not only that, but the folks on the other team, they begin to understand, wait a minute, it's just not Caitlin, it's also Aari. So if Caitlin sits down or whatever happens, we got to deal with her too. And guess what? Dealing with her is not going to be easy. She's got great defensive skills. She's quick. So I'm just excited about this. So I'm going to be just interested to hear when it comes down, and y'all heard it here first, okay, that Aari's going to be signed and somebody on the Indiana Fever is going to be let go. Yeah, and I would feel sad for that person. But guess what? This is the nature of the game. It is what it is. You produce, you get. You don't produce, you don't get. That's just the way it is. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'd be so excited to hear your comments, see your comments, because I know you're thinking some of the same ways I'm thinking. If you've enjoyed this content, I ask you to subscribe. Help me to get to 500 and above, 1,000 or more subscribers. Leave a thumbs up and tap the bell so you'll understand, you'll know when new stuff comes in, when new content comes in. All right? This is Barbara around the WNBA. Go Fever. Come on, Aari.